Sa punto pong ito, balikan natin ang ating mga barkadang si Aljo at Dianne.
Thank you so much, Audrey. Ngayon naman, Aljo, pag-usapan natin. Nakita naman natin all over the news. And it is really alarming na yung increase ng suicidal rate, lalo na sa mga kabataan. Diba recently, ang dami-daming mga news patungkol dyan?
Sige, mas totoo yan, Dianne, no? Alamin natin kung ano ba talagang dahilan. Ito pong mga pagpapakamatay, pagpapatiwakal, suicide incidents, hindi lamang po sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. Makasama natin dito sa studio si Dr. Robert Baugher, ang main speaker, EPCALM advocate.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning, Boss.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
All right, Doctor, to start off, can you tell us more about EPCALM advocate?
Yes, EPCALM is an organization that focuses on grief in general, and it was started 10 years ago when Dr. Arlene Demer, her brother died, and so the EPC part of EPCALM are the initials of her brother, and so she started this organization to pay attention to leukemia, but at the same time she wanted to bring more awareness to grief, and that's what we just had a conference yesterday and the day before at St. Luke's Hospital on grief and loss and so on.
All right, so how long have you been doing this?
How long have I been involved in grief? 35 years.
35 years.
All right, so for 35 years, we all know that the journey of a child to adult is really complex and really challenging. So do you think this is of depression that can lead to suicide?
Sure, absolutely. I think being a teenager is tough. You don't have to think, very hard to think back on your years when you're growing up and all the stressors that were going on. And I think one of the tough issues that we talked about yesterday and the day before is that when you're a teenager, you think that this is how your life is going to be,
right.
and you can't understand that, that things are going to get better. And I think that's one of the things that happens with depression, which can lead to suicide, is this sense of hopelessness.
What is the current status of suicide, not only in the Philippines, but globally? Dr.
Yeah, globally, suicide occurs in most all cultures. The United States, it's continuing to rise. I'm not here today to tell, the Philippine people, how to deal with any issues because, we all have tough issues that we have to deal with. So, but, one suicide is terrible enough. Even if there were one person in the entire city of Manila that died from suicide, that would be terrible enough. So, we all have a lot of work to do to find ways to reduce it.
All right. So I'm just wondering, why did you choose the Philippines?
Came last year and spoke at the EPCALM conference, and so he introduced me to Dr. Demer and her husband, engineer Justice Demer, and they talked to me about my background and invited me.
Okay, so what are the series of activities that you will be doing?
For teens this Saturday, it's for any teen that has that's coping with grief and loss, the death of a brother, sister, mother, father, grandparent, or whatever. It doesn't have to be related to suicide at all. And so we're going to have activities for the teens at St. Luke's Hospital. People can Google EPCALM, EPCALM, and find out more information about it. Yesterday and the day before, we had a number of speakers. I was one of them that talked about grief, loss, and so on.
So what do you think are the major needs that must be addressed, especially by the parents to their children, in order to totally eradicate suicide incidents?
Great! Wow, great question.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is to talk about things, and I know it's tough to bring up issues of depression and seeing your child feel, but there are clues sometimes to us that, for example, a child may be dealing with depression or thinking about suicide. They have the sense of hopelessness. They quit things. They quit school. They don't want to go to church anymore. Kids do this all the time, right? And now they're pushing their friends away. They give things away. They don't eat. They have sleep problems. They can't go to sleep at night. They wake up in the middle of the night. So those are things that I think parents need to say, honey, what's going on? Is there something happening to you? Sometimes anger comes up as well. Leave me alone. Push. Well, kids do that anyway. But
constant communication.
Yeah, exactly. And talking.
All right. So having said these signs and symptoms of depression, is this treatable or through counseling and support?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the first step is to realize maybe this is something as a parent that's beyond my control. Maybe it's something that we need to get additional help on. And one of the things in psychology that we always talk about is when you keep it inside, it just gets worse. It's talking about it and finding, that one person who can be a good listener.
So what are the things that do in order to divert divert the attention on the negative effect of depression?
Yeah, I think not so much youth. I think it's what, for example, we can do in schools. And the United States still has a long ways to go in that as well. We teach writing and math and all of these other things, but we don't teach kids about emotions. We don't teach kids about how do I deal with anger? How do I deal with when my girlfriend puts me down and goes out with my best friend? And, you know, I hate that and I can't handle that. And so I think, you know, in the world, I think what all of us would like to see is teaching kids how to handle emotions and bullying and, you know, all of the issues that contribute to stress in a kid's life.
All right, for those concerned viewers out there, what do you think can we do in our own little way to help?
Yes. I think number one is listen. You know, I think it's so easy to say, oh, come on, it's not so bad, and, you know, it's not a big deal or whatever. And, you know, yesterday in the conference, I gave one of my workshops was on being a good listener. If people are interested, they could actually Google my name and go to YouTube, and workshop on how to be a good listener to someone who's come to you with a problem.
All right, for me, Aljo, kasi we cannot solve other person's problems, but knowing that you are there for them, the support and open communication can make a big difference.
Yes, huge.
All right, so before we end, do you have any reminders or message to our viewers? Or would you like them to invite to your talk?
If they want to contact EPCALM and see what's going on for Saturday, they're welcome to do that. Again, it's EPCALM, and the main thing I have suggestion is listen, listen, listen.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Again, Understanding Grief. Yan po, September 12, dyan po sa may St. Luke's, right? St. Luke's?
St. Luke's.
All right. So yan po, sana mapuntahan natin para at least maintindihan natin at makatulong tayo sa ibang may mga pinagdadaanan dahil hindi po biro ang kanilang pinagdadaanan. At nakita natin yung increase ng rate ng suicidal rate dito sa Pilipinas, umaangat. So that is really very alarming.
Mga celebrities na involved na rin sa mga ganun, no?
That's right.
Ito nakakalungkot. Okay, so maraming
Thank
salamat.
you so much, Dr. Robert Baugher, main speaker ng EPCALM Advocate.
Good morning, Doctor, again. Okay.